TSU head coach Eddie George. The team came up just short 28-21 against UT Martin at home this past weekend. This week, they're at Western Illinois, the first matchup between the programs. So, Coach, just some thoughts, and we'll go to some questions.
Yep. Clearly disappointed with the outcome of the game against UT Martin last week. But a lot to build on. I feel like the kids fought. Going down 21-0 against that team. Usually, that can turn into a blowout. Where it's you getting 300 yards rushing on you, and they just close the door and you get real tight, real fast, and it can get out of hand. But it didn't happen. Our kids settled down. They were resilient, and we gave ourselves a chance to possibly win the game in the end. So I'm really, really proud of how we fought back. That being said, just the costly turnovers in the second half, especially in the red zone, prevented us from, probably, pulling ahead with the lead at that point in time. Missed opportunities on the defensive side. Had a possible pick six that was dropped by Boogie, which doesn't typically happen. Also had interception that turned into a fumble. They recover. So you had our opportunities to win a ball game, but against a team like UT Martin that's been in it, the class of the OVC, it's been in a lot of playoff games, a veteran group, we fought hard. So here we are, and we just got to bounce back against another tough opponent in Western Illinois at their place this week.
Thanks, Coach. We'll go to questions. Mike Organ, I'm first.
Eddie, I know the loss was tough to take, but the comeback was impressive. You still have a shot at the playoffs. You still have a shot at posting the best record in 11 seasons. What do those goals or possible achievements mean?
Well, first of all, we got to figure out a way to win this week. Let's go start there. We'll assess that at the end of the year, once we get to that point. But as of right now, I've got to get this team prepared to go up to Western Illinois, which is going to be a difficult environment. Has some unique challenges to it. Coach Joe Davis has done a phenomenal job in his first year there of really making it a challenge for you to play there, one, two, to stop their offense and to be able to not make mistakes offensively against their defense. They have a really, really good quarterback, running back, receiver. They have a three-headed monster you have to be wary of. Quarterback is playing phenomenal ball. He's very efficient when given time. Knows where to go when he's under pressure, knows where to go with the ball. The back is on pace for 1,000 yards. The receiver also is on pace for 1,000 yards, and they're putting up points, even though the record doesn't really indicate it. They're putting up 30 points over the last 3 weeks, even in a loss, almost 40 points a game. So, we got to be very mindful of that. Mike, to answer your question, I am just locked in on, what it's going to take to get the victory against Western Illinois. Get our confidence back, and try to finish the season off strong. And then, we'll sit back, maybe over some fried turkey, and a glass of wine, and talk about the season and what's been accomplished.
Okay, and you kind of already answered my second question, but I will add that Coach Davis mentioned that what you guys have done with Draylen in emphasizing his strengths is similar to what they've done in the three-headed monster that they built. Like you said, I think they've got a leader in a player in the top 4 in passing, rushing, and receiving. Do you see similarities in what they've done with their offense and what you're doing and trying to do?
Yeah, I mean they do a lot, in terms of getting their guys the ball. It's about players and not plays. Zero is a phenomenal player. I think he came from Livingston College. He's a transfer. Had a great game against Tennessee Tech. And that's the game that you really look at. You're like, okay, they punished Tennessee Tech, a team that we lost to early in the year, at their place. You put the ball on the ground, the carpet, one too many times, it can get out of hand quickly from you because their offense can score. And like I said, Nathan Lamb, I think that's Nathan Lamb. Yeah, Nathan Lamb, big kid, 6'3", 230-pound quarterback. Again, knows where to go with the football. Very efficient. Can really dissect the defense with his arm. And then you have the big running back that they have that can break a lot of tackles. So he's done a great job of getting them the ball, and they believe in the system, and they're very confident that, hey, they can score on anybody. You can see that. So, um, we have our hands full yet again this week.
Right. Thank you.
Brandon, you're up.
Right. Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Hey, Brandon, how are you, brother? Good, man.
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Obviously, you didn't get the outcome that you wanted last week, but I wanted to ask you about your special teams. Um, for the second straight week, you had a kick return for a touchdown, and we've seen several times that unit, particularly on the return side, has been able to put in some big returns to help your offense field position. Can you talk a little bit about how that unit is performing on the season?
We put a lot of emphasis and focus on our special forces unit, um, especially the return game, our protection, punt protection, our kickoff coverage. We don't look at that as a playoff. That's an opportunity to score or get a momentum shift or get the ball out, score a touchdown, change the momentum. We really emphasize giving, 110% effort each and every play when it comes to special forces. And that's the identity of our football team. You find out a lot about a team by looking at the special forces or the special teams. If they're physical, if they're well coached, if they're detailed, are they following the fundamentals of football, of getting proper leverage, hat in hands, following the three T's, hands inside, getting off of blocks, button press, using the rip effectively to get around blocks. I mean, all those little things I look at to see how well coached they are and how detailed they are. And you find out a lot. So we spend a lot of time, invest a lot of time into our special forces unit. And for the last 2 years, we didn't have a return for a touchdown in about 2 years. So, CJ's been a great. He's a home run hitter. Our guys take great pride in getting blocks, staying on blocks for our returns. It really has taken on a life of its own, and we're seeing the benefits and the fruit of our labor is that, hey, we do our job in terms of our returns, understanding the plan and executing at a high level. We have a chance to score. And that one play you talk about, down 21-0. Not only did we flip the field, we changed the momentum of the entire game from that point on in the game. And although we still made mistakes thereafter, that same energy was there because we had the confidence that we can go out and score not only offensively, but also in our special forces unit. So, yeah, Coach Burns has done a phenomenal job of getting those kids to believe and rallying the troops when it comes to that.
Okay. And then wanted to kind of touch on your defense. And we talked about last week with UT Martin and Patrick Smith and what they were able to do from a running standpoint. But really, after the first quarter, I would say y'all kind of got your hands around it and was really able to kind of limit as far as what they can do. And looking at what you did last week, and then, like I said, with Western Illinois, kind of what they can do from an offensive standpoint. What are some of the things that you saw from that your defense was able to get done from the second quarter on that you can kind of implement without telling us how the sausage is made into next week's game plan?
Well, Martin presented a challenge for us, especially with their back. I think he leads the league in rushing, top 5 in the country, or top 15 in the country in rushing. Really do a good job of dressing things up. UT Martin, structurally speaking, with the motions and shifts and just doing the same thing over and over again, but presented differently. And the back, man, he has a good feel for the inside and outside zone stuff. He can find he can anticipate when that hole's gonna pop. And it doesn't have to be there for him to hit it. He's pressing the hole. He gets the block. Boom. If it's not there, he'll go to the second hole and cut back on it and keep it nice and tight, like razor thin. I mean, just hugging the wall. It's a beautiful thing, from coming from the running back position. To see how, because it puts a lot of pressure on defenses to fit it right correctly. So we did some things up front, changed some things, tightened the screws a little bit, did some things that they probably wasn't expecting within changing the front. And we have to be mindful of that, when we come against Western Illinois, because yet again, this league is full of really good running backs, from UT Martin to Lindenwood to Western Illinois. The list goes on and on. Charleston Southern runs the ball really well. So we've seen our share of good running teams, and this is no different. At this point in time, I told our team, listen, right now, throw the record off the table. It does not matter whether it's Western Illinois, it's Gardner Webb, SEMO. It does not matter at this point in time of the year. Whoever is going to be dominant in the trenches will give themselves the best chance to win. And if you win the turnover battle, same situation. And again, we're going to have to put together a game plan to slow this unit down. Again, they're scoring points. Even in a loss, again, they scored 38 points. So it's a game where we got to really come out with a great deal of energy and really be assignment based and get their ball carriers and receivers down when we have an opportunity to do that.
Well, appreciate that, Coach, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate it.
Appreciate your time as always. Best of luck, and we'll talk to you next Tuesday.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.